Section 8 is called Open Sides, Access and Egress. And a lot of it is to do with the padding you put around a bounce castle, the mats that you might put down at the, say, at the bottom of a slide or where you're getting in and out. Now, this gets quite complicated because it talks about padding at open sides. We haven't quite got to the point yet where it's talked about containment walls. Containment walls need to be a certain size. Now, it would be reasonable to assume that if the containment wall wasn't of a certain size, then it is classed as an open side, even though you might not think it's open because it's got a small wall. If that's not true, then we're in a bit of a weird situation where you just go, I don't want to make a containment wall that size because it's an open side, but I don't want to make an open side because I don't want to put matting down there, so it's got a containment wall and you could escape down the middle. So either you're an open side or you're contained. To be contained, you must have the wall of a certain size, otherwise you are an open side. And it says the designer shall specify the type and extent of the impact material. Bless them. The impact absorbing material shall extend at least 1.2 meters on the ground away from the step or the open side or the open area. Now, if you've got a step, that means you've got to go 1.2 meters in front of the step and 1.2 meters to the side of the step with your padding. 1.2 meters is actually quite a long way to go. The step, the ramp or the step for it, another part of it, must be the full width of the open side or the egress. So you can't just have an open side at the front and then a sort of small step at the front and say that's the bit that people get in and out of. That wouldn't make sense. The step must be the full width and overlap, in fact, to make sure it is completely the full width. You'd have to have that because the way the walls are designed means it would overlap. It's just the way it has to happen. Now, here's the crucial bits. The surface in the fall zone, which is the area where you put in the padding, shall not produce any impact where G is greater than 200 G, as in G for gravity, 9.80665 or 10 near enough. Now, it talks about an open side. For any episode, the fall height should be no greater than 700 millimeters. And that is often the case for playing surfaces. So consider this. If you're falling from 700 millimeters down to a mat, then you experience a G-force on the mat of no greater than 200 G. That means that the mat must deform by at least 3.5 millimeters. Okay, so the mathematics works. Trust me, I used to be a physics teacher in an old life. But if you're falling 700 mil down under acceleration of 1g, and then you are decelerated, you do work against, or something does work against you, or you do work against something else to slow down, and you would want the acceleration there to be less than 200g, then the distance through which you travel must be less than a 200, greater than a 200th of 700 mil, which is 3.5. So imagine 3.5 mil. Won't come out very well on the video, but something like that. Your mat must deform by at least that. So if you've got 1 centimetre thick foam, think to yourself, if somebody fell from 700 mil, if some object fell from 700 mil up, would it actually deform by 3.5 mil? Actually, it might well do. They have, in one of the appendices, specify how to test this, but that's what it's got to do. I haven't tested my mats. We've got Sinclair gym mats. They're the same as the gym school uses. I presume the gym school have bought appropriate mats to stop people from hurting themselves when they fall down, and so we've got the same. But that's the criteria that it should be weighed against.